So the AAA Time Framework helps you to audit and categorize your time into three distinct types. So the first one is ascend time, the second one is anchor time, and the third one is avoid time. So let me share that with you in a little bit more detail. So ascend time, this is your high value time. These are the tasks and actions that move you forward, move your business forward, move your area of the business forward if you're employed. So they're strategic, they're aligned, they're growth focused, and it's the time you spend on what truly matters. So that's your ascend time. So next up is your anchor time. So these are your stabilizers. It keeps things running. It keeps the momentum going. So whereas the ascend time creates momentum, your anchor time keeps the momentum going. So these are your stabilizers. It keeps everything running. It creates that rhythm, that routine, and it allows for consistency. So think the routines, the things that you do on a regular basis, your admin, your time to connect with people. It's the things that are important, not necessarily urgent, and they don't necessarily drive progress, but they do support it. So you've got ascend time, anchor time, and then the third one is avoid time. So these are the time drains. So scrolling, which we all fall victim to, overthinking, overcommitting, and distractions, but also the default behaviors that feel urgent but don't actually serve our priorities. So for those of you that are coming out of employment into self-employment, or those of you that have been in like a team leadership role and you're moving into more of a management level, we need to be really aware of the old habits and behaviors that worked really well for us in a different environment that aren't going to work for us where we are now. So we need to be really aware and conscious of the patterns of behavior that are actually old habits and behaviors that worked really well for us before, but they're not going to work for us now. It's really important that we understand where our time and our energy goes. We need to increase our awareness. So before we can make any changes at all, we need to increase our awareness. And once we increase our awareness, we can start making better choices. So this is not just about time management. It's also about energy management, focus management, and making sure that everything is in alignment. So here are 5 things to help you to implement the AAA framework. So firstly, track your week. Just before you make any changes at all, track your week, audit your time before you look at making any changes. So, and I know many of us that are from a public sector background have gone through that very painful experience of time tracking tools and ticking off checklists of where we're spending our time. It doesn't have to be that detailed. You can have like electronic versions, Toggle and others exist that will help you to track your time, but it doesn't need to be in a huge level of detail. So you could just use a journal, you could scan your calendar, or use one of those apps to capture where your time actually goes. Don't just look at the tasks, look at your energy as well. Look at how you're prioritizing things. The more you increase your awareness, the more you are able to bring things into alignment, but the awareness comes before the action. So secondly, be honest about your ascend time. So the ascend tasks should move you forward, not just keep you busy. So it needs to move your business forward, or it needs to move your area of the business forward. So this is not just about ticking things off of a to-do list. It's really asking yourself the question, like, is this taking me towards where I'm going? Is this moving me closer to being successful, or to moving things to an area of success? If you only had 2 hours this week to focus on what really matters most, what would you choose to do? So for a lot of us in business, we do this every morning. And in fact, most people in work who are more productive with their time and manage their time well will spend the first hour of their day doing the work that really matters, the work that's going to drive things forward before they open themselves up to the disruption and the interruption of everything else. So we need to be really honest about the ascend time and make sure that we are focusing our time and energy on the tasks and activities that move and drive things forward. The third thing I wanted to mention is that anchor time is not wasted time. So this is the middle one. It keeps the momentum going. It doesn't necessarily drive momentum, but it does keep momentum going. Now, often these might be tasks that you will delegate or you will outsource. So they're often things that need to be done by routine. They're often things that need to be done on a regular basis, but they're also things that kind of really protect what happens in the ascend time. So anchor time might be rest. It might be time to think, time to be creative, time to plan. And these are all performance strategies. So you speak to any high performer and they will tell you that rest and reflection time, time to plan, time to recover, they are all part of their high performance strategies. So don't punish yourself for needing that stability. Don't punish yourself for question the fact that you need routines. Protect your anchor routines. That's what's going to stop you from burning out. You want to make sure that the things that keep the momentum going are also happening. But it might be that you're in a position where you can delegate that or you can outsource it and somebody else can pick up those tasks, which means that your time is then released for your ascend time. So your anchor time is a foundation. It's not a filler. These are the foundation activities. They're not things to fill your time. So it still needs to keep the momentum going. It shouldn't be something that slows you down. So the fourth thing I wanted to cover is to avoid time that usually disguises itself as productive. To be ruthless with your distractions. You know what? You want to make sure that your phone is in airplane mode or is in another room. Like the opportunities for you to be distracted are removed as far away as possible. So we want to make sure that we're really aware of what distracts us, and we want to make sure that we're ruthless in avoiding them, reducing them, or removing them altogether. So the question here to ask yourself is whether or not you're working or just avoiding the uncomfortable task. We need to make sure that we're productive and we're not procrastinating, because quite often, and this has been coming up in workshops in the community more recently, more often it is the tasks that makes us feel like we're being productive, but actually it's a way of procrastinating from the one thing that we know we need to be doing. So really check in with that, the tasks that you are doing, and check that it is productive and it's not just a way of avoiding something that brings that discomfort. We also want to make sure that we're saying yes to the things that really matter, not just saying yes because it's easier than saying no. So that's really, really important. We want to make sure that we're saying yes to our priorities and not somebody else's. The more we increase that awareness, the more power and control we can have, and certainly more influence too. And my fifth and final point is to design your week with all three of these in mind. The goal isn't to eliminate the avoid time or only be in the ascend mode. You want that balance. As with everything, we need the balance. So we want to make sure that we are aiming for balance and not perfection. We want to make sure that we are building in the ascend time first, that we are protecting the anchors within that middle anchor time, and we want to make sure that we are reducing the things that we need to avoid. We're very intentional about it. So it's very purposeful decisions. So when we have a structure in place, and the structure can have that level of flexibility within it, but it's the structure that's going to give us the freedom. So it's really important, even those of you that I know that not everybody likes routine and structure, but you need a framework in place to make sure that everything that needs to be done is done. And actually the structure will give you that. The structure will give you that freedom. So that's the AAA framework. So just to recap, you've got your 3 lots of time. You've got ascend time, you've got anchor time, and you've got avoid time. So you want to make sure that you are balancing all of those 3 areas in a way that helps you to move forward. So a question for you to take away. If I looked at your week right now, if we had a look at your calendar, and not just had a look at your calendar, but we actually looked at what you are doing. So not what you've planned to do, but what you are actually doing. What's taking up most of the space? Is it ascend? Is it anchor? Or is it avoid tasks? So if you, I would love to hear which one of those are, where the balance is for you. If it was a percentage split, what would that look like? Drop it in the comments. I would love to see what your thoughts are and what you plan for and what you actually end up doing, and whether or not it's the same percentage split. Because sometimes what we plan for and then what actually happens can be 2 different things. So let me know in the comments, what's the percentage split between those 3 areas of time that you plan for and what is the reality? So I hope that helps. I will be back again next week with another framework to share with you. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions. If not, have a great rest of the week, and I will speak to you very soon.